This video falls under fair use. Fair use allows commentary, criticism, and reactions. What's up, back with another one? So we got Beanie Sigel alluding to JC setting him up to fail. He's not directly saying that, but you can read between the lines. Check it out.
So you would have went with Dame, but how you feel about the people that push that narrative and say that Jay held you back? Because I know you personally, you don't believe it, but break that down to the people. Why you don't believe that?
I mean, because I don't know. The person that I am, I don't think one man can destroy another man's life. It's ultimately in your own decisions. You know, I had a lot of issues. Like I said, legal issues at the time. And, you know, my mind wasn't where I'm at now today. So if that's true, because I heard that, I actually seen a interview, what's his name? That's my man too. Comedian, T. Kirkland.
Yeah, TK Kirkland. He made him come to my platform.
Oh, he was doing an interview with you. He said on your.
What happened was on Roc-A-Fella, I felt that Jay-Z, Beanie Sigel was there.
Yeah, he was fired.
And they would only let Beanie Sigel only sell so many records. This came from an executive at Roc-A-Fella, because I knew everybody. And they would only let Beanie sell so many records. And that was it. And they wouldn't push it no more. But Beanie, they would you couldn't be bigger than Jay-Z on Jay-Z's label, if that makes any sense. They wasn't gonna push you to that you couldn't be bigger than Jay-Z. You couldn't sell more records than Jay-Z. But all you had to do was listen to Beanie Sigel, and Beanie Sigel was, oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, he said that. That was the first of me actually hearing that. Like, oh shit. Like, I used to have questions like why every time my album dropped, Jay would drop right on top of me. He wouldn't let me breathe or right before me. Like, I was always close, and I'm always thought like, if a kid, back then it was physical copies. So if you had $20, $20 that you saved up and you was going to buy an album, and it's under the same house, Roc-A-Fella, between Jay and Beanie Sigel, 9 times out of 10, you won't buy the Jay-Z album. I never understood that every single album that I dropped, Jay dropped right on top of me. And it was like to have in-house competition at that magnitude was crazy. Jay already the boss, but I always thought that, like, let me breathe. But to maliciously plot to hold me back, I don't know, man. I don't believe that. I don't want to believe that. I mean, but like I said, Dame would know better than me.
Why you say that?
Because he part of making them executive decisions. He a boss just like Jay was a boss. He was a part of that. He had to be a part of those decisions. So, you know, Dame would know better than me.
In a recent interview, Beanie Sigel opened up about the long-standing narrative that JC deliberately held him back during their time at The Roc, but he made it clear that he doesn't believe that story. He explained that as the person he is today, he can't accept the idea that one man could destroy another man's life, emphasizing that everyone is responsible for their own choices and that his own legal issues and mental state at the time played a major role in how things turned out. Beanie mentioned hearing comedian TK Kirkland repeat an old industry rumor that executives at The Roc would never allow an artist to outshine JC, claiming Beanie was only allowed to sell a certain number of records because you couldn't be bigger than JC at The Roc. While Beanie admitted this was the first time he had heard that rumor stated so plainly, he also confessed that back then, he used to wonder why every time he released an album, JC would drop one right before or right after, making it feel like there was constant in-house competition that prevented him from having room to breathe. Still, He refused to believe there was any malicious plotting behind it, saying he doesn't think JC intentionally tried to sabotage his success. Instead, he framed it as a product of timing, circumstances, and perhaps label strategy rather than personal betrayal. Beanie also noted that Dame Dash, who shared executive power with JC at The Roc, would likely know more about how those business decisions were made since he was part of that process.